I'm so happy to not be pregnant anymore. Oh my gosh. And I'm pushing with every single thing I have in my soul. My husband was holding our daughter and I'm fainting on the toilet. You guys also have to forgive me because mom brain is so real. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody and I make faith-based content here on YouTube, and I am officially a mom. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my birth story. Our daughter was born on January 31st, 2022 at 5:11 p.m. after 24 hours of labor and 1 hour of pushing. So I'm going to be breaking down what happened and what went down during that time. And honestly, I just saw God's hand so much in the process that I'm really excited to just share everything with you. I also have her sitting over here next to me, and I'm going to be introducing you guys to her and sharing her name as well. So if you guys are interested, then just keep on watching. Alrighty, so we're gonna do a little background information before we hop into the story. So again, she was born on January 31st, 2022. At that point, I was 41 weeks, like to the day. And from week 40 to week 41, we were trying everything to get labor started and nothing worked. So that is a little bit of background for you guys on what was going on prior to getting the party started and her being born. So on Sunday, January 30th. You okay? Yeah? You wanna say hi? I think she wants to say hi, guys. Let me go ahead and get her now. All right, well, I didn't expect to introduce her this soon, but she wanted to join the party. Did you want to join the party? I think she wants to say hello a little bit sooner, yes. So, okay, but first, I want to go ahead and thank the sponsor of today's video. Do you want to thank them too? You want to thank them? I want to go ahead and thank Ritual for sponsoring today's video. So let me go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about Ritual and why we love them. I used them during my pregnancy, and now that I'm postpartum, I'm also using their vitamins. So yes, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about Ritual. As a new mom, my daily and morning routine is so different, but one thing that has remained the same for me is taking my Ritual vitamins. You guys already know I faithfully use their prenatal vitamins throughout my pregnancy, and now that I am in the 4th trimester, I'm taking their women's essential vitamin. It's so important to me, especially right now, to be prioritizing my health and also just making sure I'm taking care of my body as I recover from birth. And these vitamins are helping me do just that. With just 2 capsules a day, I'm able to fill in the gaps in my diet, and I'm also getting brain support, bone support, as well as antioxidant support. Right now, I have 1,000,001 things that I'm adjusting to and trying to balance, so I'm really grateful for this subscription and having these vitamins delivered directly to my door. It's one less thing for me to have to think about or worry about, which is exactly what I need right now as I'm setting and maintaining healthy habits in this new season. Another great thing about the vitamins is they are vegan friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, and formulated without any major allergens. They really have everything covered. So if you would like to try Ritual vitamins, you can use my code MELODY20, and this will get you 20% off your first month. And just so you know, they don't just do women's vitamins. They also have vitamins for men, for kids, for people over 50. Of course, they have the prenatals as well. They have the whole entire family covered. So if you guys are interested in checking out Ritual for yourself, you can use my code and get 20% off your first order, and I will have everything linked in the description box, right? So you guys can go ahead and check that out. Now, we're gonna go ahead and do a little feeding, and I will jump right back into the story. Yeah, and then you can say hi. Okay. Okay, bye. All right. So this is very mom life right now. I don't think you can see anything. If you can, by the slight chance, I'll just blur it out. As she does this, let me just go ahead and start this story off for you guys. So yes, on January 30th, Sunday, We went into the hospital. At this point, I was 40 weeks pregnant and 6 days, and we had scheduled for me to be induced. And we had this conversation with my doctor, my husband and I, after realizing like our daughter really is snug as a bug, and she had no interest in joining us earthside, basically. So that's how we made the decision to check into the hospital a day before 41 weeks, kind of get the process started, because again, my body wasn't dilating naturally, and then kind of gone under the assumption that after, you know, getting started and with the dilation process, that she would be born the following day on the 41-week mark. And it worked out perfectly because, as you guys know, well, maybe you don't know, at my practice at least, for my OBGYN, the doctors rotate and there's like 8 or 9 doctors. But my specific doctor just so happened to be on call on January 31st at my 41-week mark. So it was just so wonderful to be able to have her be there during that process and to deliver me. So that was just a little, I don't want to say like a little coincidence, but I just feel like God cares about the details, you know? Again, this being my first child, really wanting that positive birth experience and having the most comfort with the doctor I've been seeing throughout this whole pregnancy, who saw me during my fibroid degeneration, who really just knows everything. It was just amazing to be able to have her deliver me and just support me during that day. So that's that. When we got into the hospital, the first thing we do is check in. And again, I'm feeling nervous and excited, not really knowing what to expect. They did a dilation check and yeah, girl was 1 centimeter. So I was just like, okay. I am all of 1 centimeter dilated. Why I oughta? Why I oughta?
That's her contraction, the green piece. That's your heart rate.
So at this point, they have to manually dilate my cervix, and they decide to do a Foley bulb. I think that's what it's called. I was kind of nervous about that just because when you look it up online, it just looks like it's going to be so incredibly uncomfortable. But the doctor inserted it, and after it works, your cervix should be anywhere between 3 centimeters and 5 centimeters. So they inserted it, and I was very pleasantly surprised that it didn't hurt. It honestly hurt less than the dilation checks. And so at that point, it really is just a waiting game. Once they inserted it though, my contractions started turning up. They were coming like every 3 to 5 minutes, lasting anywhere from 45 seconds to 1 minute and 15 seconds. They were so painful. And at that point, I hadn't decided like firmly whether I was gonna do the epidural or not, but I quickly, after an hour of trying to breathe through these contractions, getting on the ball, doing all the different things that we learned in my or in the labor and delivery class that we did, I was just in so much pain. And to know that I'm only 1 centimeter yet going through such consistent contractions, I was just a little bit worried, you know what I mean? Like, how long am I gonna be doing this? Like, it's one thing to know you're going through the contractions and like you're dilated and you're getting somewhere. But for me, feeling like I'm going through contractions and I'm nowhere near the pushing point, I decided to go ahead and get the epidural. And honestly, guys, it was the best decision I made for myself during the whole entire birthing process.
Well, we're back again. Back at it again.
I got my epidural, and it's the best thing ever. Contractions are very painful.
The only thing is it made her knee look really huge. So this is her knee, right?
Can you imagine? No, that's a peanut.
That's a peanut.
So I got the epidural and it kicked in like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes afterwards. And I was just like, this is amazing. So from that point, I would say that happened Sunday night, maybe around 8 or 9. It was just the sleeping and rest game. My husband and I both were just resting and sleeping and, you know, playing a few card games here and there up until the following day. Okay, we're gonna go play Uno so I can distract myself from the fact that there's a bulb hanging from my... Are you finished? Milk drunk shorty. She's so cute. Well, I'll go ahead and interrupt a little bit of my story to introduce you guys to our little cutie girl. So this is Miss Zoey. Zoey, say hi. She's a little milk drunk right now, but this is Zoey. Zoey Stella. You wanna say hi? Oh. From our ultrasounds, I definitely thought I was gonna give birth to my husband's twin, but come to find out, she's my twin. She's my twin. I'll have to put up a picture of her, like her newborn photo next to my newborn photo. I'll even put X's newborn photo, and then you guys let me know in the comments what you think. So, back to the hospital. Now, the Foley bowl worked. So after they inserted it, I'd say around 4 or 5 hours, they pulled it out. And when they pull it out, that means that your cervix has now dilated. So I was in between 3 to 5 centimeters at that point. And when they did my dilation check, she also, this is the nurse, she also felt my water. It hadn't broken yet, but like imagine my water being like a balloon. It was kind of like falling through my now dilated cervix. And so they thought it would just naturally break, but it didn't. My doctor came in and talked to me and asked if I felt comfortable with her breaking my water. And I said, yeah, you know what, at this point, like, let's just kind of keep it moving. I didn't want to lose momentum, you know? We were really getting somewhere. It's 9:50 and I'm 7 centimeters and they just broke my water and I'm laying on my right side because Zoey, you seem to like this side better. But it's gonna be happening very soon. You're going to come out and join us. So she broke my water and at that point they saw that there was meconium, I think that's what it's called, in my water. So that means that she had pooped in the amniotic sac. And so that meant that when she was born, they had to have the NICU people there just in case that something happened where she got that in her lungs. Like if she came out and she wasn't crying with like enough force and kind of was like a little bit sleepy, that they were gonna be there just in case. So that happened. And again, in between all of this, the epidural is still there and, you know, being fantastic. So when I'm not like actively having to do anything or like getting checked, for the most part, again, I'm just sleeping, I'm resting. And then at a certain point, we realize that I am 8 centimeters dilated. I want to say this is likely around 3 p.m. And even though I have, and this is 3 p.m. on Monday, January 31st, even though I have my epidural, at this point, I can still feel the contractions. And this is why I'm so grateful for the epidural, because once I started feeling those contractions super close to having to push, I felt every single one of them. I felt the pressure, I felt the contraction, and I just cannot even fathom not having the epidural and how strong those contractions were and how like immense that pressure was that I likely would have been feeling. So shout out to the epidural, man, honestly, and anesthesia in general and modern medicine in general. So yes, they tell me that I'm 8 centimeters and I'm like, all right, let's go. And so I start the playlist. I made a playlist which honestly ended up being just Maverick City music on shuffle on Spotify, and just kind of waiting for my body to progress again naturally. So I'm starting to feel more contractions at this point, and my doctor's coming in and checking on me, the nurse is coming in and checking on me, and at this point they're letting me know that there's, you know, nothing more for me to do until it's time to push. And the sign that I'm gonna know that it's time to push is when I feel super crazy pressure, not in the front of my body, but like in my butt. That's kind of how they were explaining it, and that means that the baby's head had finally like sunk down into the canal to begin the process. So I remember I felt pressure and I had her come in and check me, but it was more towards the front And she checked me and she's like, no, like it's not quite time, it's not quite time. And then 2 seconds later, as soon as she left, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I feel it. Like I felt that pressure that she was talking about in my butt. And so she comes in, my doctor comes in, and they told me, okay, it's time to push. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's time, like it's time, you know, like I don't know, I couldn't believe it. Like the whole long process, we had checked in literally the afternoon before, and then now it's around 4 p.m. So it's been 24 hours at this point. We've been in the hospital, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's time to push, like it's time to push, like it's happening, like it's happening. So they put my legs up in the stirrups, and we have doctor in the middle, we have my nurse on one side, and we have my husband on the other side. And this is when it's just push, push, push. So my husband's counting to 10, I'm pushing with everything I have in me. And this is where I start feeling super tired. The fact that like I haven't eaten anything or had anything to drink beyond watered down or melted ice chips and eaten just ice chips, like it's starting to hit me. So I'm pushing, and I started like feeling out of breath after every push. Like we were doing 10 and my husband was counting slow, okay, 1, 2, and so I'm just like, oh, like pushing. And we do 3 sets of that, so 3 sets of 10. And I was like, okay, we gotta make it shorter. Like I can only push to 6, like maybe 7. So then I was pushing for 6 or 7. My nurse was really just helping me go through that process of like knowing where to push, because it's interesting. It's like you can push, but you kind of have to know like where you're trying to push on your body. And then also it's almost like holding your breath as you push, at least for me, because when I would let my breath out, I guess I would kind of lose that momentum. I ended up pushing for about an hour. And honestly, I was getting a little bit frustrated because my doctor would come in and she'd be like, we're so close, you're so close. And I'd be like, all right, you've been saying that for like 20 minutes. Like, are we not there yet? Are we not there yet? So she's saying that, and at a certain point, I start feeling that pressure amplify. And I know that we are getting close at that point. So once that pressure amplifies and I'm realizing like, all right, like it's really happening. She's almost here. My doctor called in the NICU nurses, and that's when I knew like, okay, like it's real. Like the baby is almost here. So we did 3 more pushes at that point. And I remember because I was just like, let's go. Like, I don't want any breaks. Like, let's go. So I pushed and I felt like all that crazy pressure, and they're saying the head's coming, the head's coming. And I'm pushing with every single thing I have in my soul. And I'm feeling so much pressure, and I know that her head is coming, her head is coming, her head is coming. And so her head comes out and I feel a little bit of relief, and then I start feeling the shoulders, and I was just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And basically we pushed again, and they kind of, you know, wedged her little shoulders out, and then she's here. And they immediately brought her up to my chest, and again, because there was meconium in her amniotic sac, there was a chance that she was gonna come out not really crying the strongest and kind of like a little out of it. But she was perfect. She literally came out crying, and they were like, you know, wiping her down or whatever, but she just laid on my chest. And honestly, for that first hour, she just laid on my chest, and she didn't cry anymore when she like gave her first cries. She was just so observant and just like taking in the world and looking at me. So she cried when she needed to cry, letting everyone know that she was okay. But then beyond that, she was just so mellow, so chill. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And we're just both staring at her and listening to Maverick City music. And I am just like in awe. My husband is just in awe. Finally being able to see her. She was just so cute. She had, her little eyes were all swollen. She has so much hair, as you guys can see, and she officially entered the world at 5:11 p.m. on January 31st. So after that, after an hour of having her on my chest, well, during that time, I had my placenta, and that came out. And then what else happened? The placenta came out. My husband cut the umbilical cord. They brought her over and did all of her weighing and all of that. So she was born 7 pounds, 9 ounces. She's just perfect. Like she's just perfect. So after that, we are just basking in new parent life and love. Something that was a little bit unexpected, that was a little bit scary that happened, is after I gave birth and they took out the epidural, so I'm getting feeling back in my legs. They were helping me walk over to the bathroom to go to the restroom for the first time, and I felt like I was gonna throw up. And the thing was, I didn't really have anything in my stomach because again, I hadn't eaten anything for basically 24 hours. All I had was ice chips. And I'm sitting down on the toilet and I'm letting her know, like, I think I'm gonna throw up. And so she comes and brings me like a throw up bag. And then she's like, do you feel dizzy? And I was like, no, I don't feel dizzy. And then all of a sudden I was like, I feel dizzy. I feel dizzy. I feel dizzy. And I fainted. So luckily I was sitting on the toilet when this happened. And so it's not like I fell or anything. But that's really the last thing that I remember, was saying like, I feel dizzy, I feel dizzy, I feel dizzy. And luckily I was only out for like 15 to 20 seconds. And when I came back to, there was like 4 nurses around me and they're like, oh, are you back? Are you back? And I'm like, yeah, what happened? And so I didn't really know what happened at that point. And so they let me know that I had fainted and kind of got me back to my bed, gave me some IV fluids. And this is where I'm just so grateful for my doctor, because my husband was holding our daughter and I'm fainting on the toilet, and the nurse gets called in, additional nurses, my doctor comes in, and my husband was saying how my doctor was just so diligent and so on it, and like relaying and telling everyone what to do and having them retell her what happened, because at this point there is a fear of blood clots. I do have large fibroids, so there is that extra complication as well of like me possibly losing too much blood and like fainting because of that, related to my fibroids. But as the nurses are retelling everything to her, this is like, again, being relayed after the fact from my husband to me, that my doctor was just like, okay, nope, we know what it is. It's not that, it's not this. Okay, it likely is just that she hasn't had anything to eat for, you know, X amount of hours, and, you know, just went through literally this super strenuous physical activity. And yeah, so I got the IV and they wheelchaired me over to postpartum, and I was just fine. I was really hungry, so I was super excited to eat. I had a sushi bowl that night with raw salmon. I have been waiting my whole pregnancy to eat sushi again. I love sushi. So that was super exciting. And that was her birthday. I personally am just really, really grateful to be able to share my positive birth experience with you guys. I was praying for that, and I know I talked about it and asked for your guys' prayers as well in my I'm in labor video, and so I just thank you guys for standing and believing in that with me. And our perfect little baby girl is here. That is my birth story. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this journey with you guys. It has been quite the journey, and now we're starting the new chapter of parenthood, which we couldn't be more excited about. And it's just so exciting to have her here and for her to be just so perfect and so wonderful. We just love her so much. So on that note, I'm excited to be back. I feel like I say that all the time. But yeah, I'm excited to connect with you guys. I'm excited to bring some new content. I'm feeling very inspired. I'm so happy to not be pregnant anymore. Oh my gosh. And on that note, oh, it's okay. It's okay. On that note, it's okay. I will see you guys in my next video. You wanna say bye? You wanna say bye? Ooh, big yawn. Ooh. Big yawn. Okay, she's gonna say bye. You say bye. Zoey says bye. All right. Okay. Bye, guys.